I'm messing everything up already right now. I did the wrong title sequence, and then I messed with Brandon's audio, and then... Hey!
Brandon looks like he's at Arizona Science Center with all the concrete.
Oh, because of the concrete back there,
Yeah.
and the pictures are definitely not from Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah. So this
I
is
was just going by the concrete.
This is reminiscent of old times. With a Brandon via Skype. Doing
Hi.
Skype action.
Skype, skippity Skype.
So hey, that's cool.
And he has his name in the upper left-hand corner, so everybody knows who he is.
Are. Yeah. I mean, I can't get rid of that in Skype. I don't know why.
We better say hello to your mom.
I know. Hi, Mom.
She's saying it. Did you hear me?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Jack.
Mama, can you hear me?
Welcome. Oh, hey, Adam. Brandon is actually at home. He's not in the field. He's
under house arrest.
He's at home with just no means of transportation.
None.
So
he's not on assignment. He's just remote.
He's just remoting in. Adam's making some English muffins. Ooh.
What? Oh man.
Ooh, I bet that probably goes well with whatever Jack is having.
Oh yeah.
Jack's having something good.
Oh, I know. Yes, I can't wait to find out.
Well, we're making pizza later.
We are making pizza. I got dough in the fridge that I hand made yesterday.
All we did yesterday was cook and bake.
Oh,
yeah, they had some delicious food yesterday. This is like the one weekend I can't drive, so I'm just so disappointed.
Well, there's a thing called Uber.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna pay $45 for an Uber.
Hey, what's important, man? What's important? All I know is that eyebrow rose.
Oh,
beautiful.
So good. Oh, that was good.
I had a salad this morning, and I felt good about myself until I had a box of Mike and Ike's that just completely,
Yeah,
negated the goodness
I
of
made
the salad.
scrambled eggs with the potatoes O'Brien that we forgot to cook like 2 weekends ago.
Oh, potatoes O'Brien, the most important breakfast.
Yeah.
O'Brien.
Yeah, so it was some cheese and then a couple of the sugar cookies that I made yesterday. So that's
Very
healthy.
Delightful.
I had one prior to the podcast, so I'll fall asleep halfway through
Yeah,
this.
the sugar crash.
Speaking of food,
Sugar
the Saturn on Liz's shirt looks like a hard-boiled egg.
It does. Thanks, Planetary Society. Jack is making sweet potato with maple syrup glaze. Oh my gosh, that's good.
And yes, it's definitely a Star Trek reference. The O'Brien.
I like that. Yeah. All right. Well, should we get into it?
You're in charge.
I guess I am in charge this time.
No, let's just do it later.
Okay. Not right now.
I'm not doing anything today.
Except for eating.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be calling this quick. You got 5 minutes for the main show. You got 5 minutes for the hangover because we got pizza.
I got tacos to get. So yeah, let's do it.
All right. I guess you need a countdown.
I can do it without the countdown.
All right.
Sure?
Let's do it.
No, give it. Oh, fine, Brandon. Give it.
Go. Just do it.
Hey everyone, welcome to Cosmos with Cosmos. I'm Liz.
I'm Mike.
I'm Brandon.
And this episode, we're talking notable orbitals.
Notable orbitals. It's the best Jeopardy category ever.
Yeah, so that means basically moons. We're talking some cool moons.
Oh, but we could do asteroids and
the
comets
solar
and
system.
planets and exoplanets
No.
and black holes orbiting
No.
us. Those
And
are orbits.
satellite galaxies that are like galaxy moons.
No, guys, just moons. Some
we're just gonna do moons?
cool ass moons in our solar system.
Cool ass
But
moons.
Oh, okay, so
the
stick to
Hangover
solar
is a
system.
good place for other
moons.
notable orbitals beyond that. I think that could be
Yeah,
cool.
we'll see what
All
we'll see
right.
what happens.
We'll see what
in the
happens.
Hangover.
But first, of course, follow us on all the things at Drinking Cosmos on Twitter and Cosmos with Cosmos anywhere else, and on Spotify and YouTube.
All the things.
And all the things that are out there. I would like to give a shout out to some awesome people out there that are doing awesome things. My sister, so I am biased, but she's an amazing artist, and she has her own Etsy shop that she's opened, Wild Ixia on Etsy. Katie can put in the chat, even though the chat
And let it be known, I
It's
was
not
the
visible.
first person to buy something there. Me.
Yep,
Ooh.
Yes.
yep. And then, of course, Ron Proctor, who remixed our Hangover theme and
Shout music.
and some other music for us. And so follow his channel, which is linked in the description below. Cool. Anyway, awesome. And then also, we also have a new little short series called
do?
The Shot with Cosmos. I've started calling it to myself a bite-sized morsel of drunken science.
Bite-sized morsel of drunken science. All right, I'm in.
All right, that's a little bit long.
Okay,
It's a
well-
better title, but it's a little bit
No,
long.
not the title. That's like its subtitle.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, so come take a shot with us. Those come out on Wednesdays, and the first
Every other Wednesday, right?
episode. I think we're doing it every Wednesday.
All right, well,
but
next one in a
the
couple
first
days.
episode is we're taking a shot to Penzias and Wilson. And if you
Penzias
want to know
and
more about what
Wilson.
that means, go take a look at it. It's on YouTube and it's on Spotify and all those
Yeah,
good things.
give it a shot.
Give it-
See what you did there.
yeah, nice.
All right, everybody, take a shot.
All right, and last but not least, of course, I wouldn't be Cosmos the Cosmos without some drinking rules. So if you hear some dogs barking, take a shot. And if we make any references to Star Wars or Lord of the Rings,
Oh boy,
Yeah, you know.
this would be a tough episode for that.
Yeah.
Star Wars is coming up for this one.
then take a shot.
And a new rule, just for this episode only, if Winter jumps into Liz's lap.
Okay, 'cause
He's in the room.
Our cat is in the room. Our cat is in the room, everybody. Oh gosh. All right. I think.
Now, what if we make Lord of the Rings references that are actual points on moons?
No.
No, there are no
Okay.
drinks for that.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
And for Star Wars as well.
Let's get it started. Brandon, what are you drinking?
Oh, I got moon dust.
Ooh.
Hey,
nice.
which is just vodka, Kahlua, and milk.
Nice. It looks
moon
like
dust.
regolith. Yeah. It looks
Yeah,
like
see,
moon
nice
dust.
regolith.
I like it.
It's
nice.
not as what's the word I want to use? Sharp, pointy as regolith. It's a little smoother.
Okay, that's good because otherwise you'd die.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, what you got?
I got the Lakes of Titan right here.
Ooh.
Yes, and it
delicious.
has a lot of stuff. It has amaretto in it, bourbon, gin, and orange juice.
Wow.
Nice.
I was trying to go for the color of Titan.
And
You
did.
kinda
It's
got
pretty
it.
good.
It's got the
It's
haze
pretty
to it.
good. Yeah, the haziness, which we
Now-
will talk about in this
So
episode.
I'm gonna die with this drink, but I'm doing it for
Oh
you.
yeah.
Well, you would
If-
also
if you
die
could-
if you drank the lakes on Titan. So.
Yes, you would.
So that's like a Titan slammer. You got the Alabama
A
slammer,
Titan
like a Titan
This
slammer.
is Titan,
Titan
Slammer.
Slammer.
This is the Titan Slammer. And what are you drinking?
I am drinking. That's no drink,
But it's a drink.
Hey.
but it is a drink, and
okay.
that'll be yeah. Anyway,
What's that?
it is cran apple juice with cinnamon whiskey.
Hmm?
That's it.
So cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Notable
God, that drink's gonna kill me.
orbitals. We're talking moons in our solar system. Okay, so the total number of moons.
Wait, really quick. You missed a drink.
What?
Oh, Jack's drink.
Oh, Jack is drinking pistachio cocoa. Week old tattooing green milk. I love pistachios. You know, we moved the chat on our screen, so now that it's not where it normally is,
Oh, it's a little bit off.
Yeah.
I gotta get used to like looking down.
But you know what?
Yeah.
It is like perfectly positioned for me.
I know.
Hey.
Well, this is good.
So-
Mike's got this one.
Got
Yeah.
it. Anyway, all right. Total moons in the solar system for planets and dwarf planets is currently 214. All right.
Now,
that's a lot.
what constitutes a moon? Like, just because it's going around, is that a moon? Like, what is a moon?
It is a body in orbit around another body that is orbiting the sun.
Like,
So it's
is
a
there
satellite. All moons are satellites,
is there like a size?
and it's not
between-
man-made.
Is there like a size? Like, it could be the size of a pebble? Does it have to be the size of a car, or what? I don't actually know what that transition is.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a actual.
He's so difficult when he's back on the show.
Yeah, I don't. Because there's some like really tiny moons.
Yeah.
So I don't. of all the things that IAU has done, one thing it hasn't done, I don't think, is set a minimum size for a moon.
I feel like it's just like a man-made, or not man-made, like a natural body in orbit around a body that is in orbit around the sun.
I mean, it's going to be kind of a gray area right now.
So
yeah, like the rings. Are the debris in the rings moons, or are they? Where?
Well, no, because those are considered particles of the rings, and so.
So like the ring being a separate.
Those are seen as different, but like for example, asteroids have moons. There's about 150 asteroids that have moons, and one of them has the moon is only like 200 yards across, so it's not very big at all. So I don't think there's as of right now a size.
Okay, just checking. Checking.
You know, it's got to be bigger than a rock you hold in your hand, because then that's just going to be a meteoroid, right?
Yeah. Or
You know.
So we're talking what we traditionally are thinking of as a moon, which is, rocky, icy body in orbit around, a planet is
all
what we're pretty much going to be talking about. And so that breakdown, Mercury and Venus, sadly, don't have any moons. They will forever orbit the sun in total loneliness until
forever's
the
a long time.
Expands and swallows them whole.
Maybe they're gonna capture that asteroid one day.
So they don't have any moons. Earth, we got a moon. We got a moon of our own. We able to pick one up. What? Okay, well, whatever.
One's temporary, though.
We just, whatever. Mars has
we got
two
one
moons.
permanent moon.
Mars has 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos. Fear and Panic, everyone. Those are fun. Funnest moons in the solar system. Life of the party. Jupiter currently has 79 moons. Now, 53 of those are confirmed. 26 of those are prospective.
Yeah, they're waiting to be... They're waiting to be confirmed.
So like ghost moons right now.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
they just need some validation.
Are corporeal.
They need validation is what they need.
Saturn is the record holder with a whopping 82 moons.
82.
53 of those are confirmed, so basically it ties with Jupiter then in confirmed moons. But 29 of those are prospective. Uranus coming in with 27 moons. I wanted to make like that's a big ass joke.
Or
something.
With dirty balls going around.
Dirty balls around Uranus. Neptune has 14. Right. Pluto has 5 moons.
5 moons has more moons than I do.
5 moons. I forgot it had 5 moons actually. And Eris, another dwarf planet hanging out with Pluto, has 1 moon.
1 moon. We got more though. Haumea has 2, and Maki Maki has 1.
Maki.
Oh God, it goes down. Okay. The page break. I thought the list was over.
Sorry, I can't.
Welcome everyone.
All right, so 214 moons, known moons for planets and dwarf planets.
Yeah, so that has a lot of potential, I would say, for some notoriety, for some interesting moons that could be out there that maybe are like all weird and shit.
Well, before we get into that, your mom has a question. Do they always have a certain orbit around the other body? They always have a Keplerian orbit. I can tell you that.
They always orbit it.
Right. So I mean,
what is elliptical?
Right. Well,
along the plane.
Yeah, I should say. Yeah, I mean it's going to be an elliptical orbit. It's always going to be,
not
elliptical.
Spherical. Not.
Well, it could be circular. It could be a circular orbit. And so. I mean, you can make the argument that a circle is just a special case of an ellipse. And so it's going to have an elliptical orbit.
Okay.
If it has anything else, it's gone.
Yeah, it won't be able to stay.
And
the plane doesn't have to be on the same plane either. It could be wherever it wants to be.
Does not have to be. All right.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's get into some notable orbitals. And, like the first one that obviously we will start with is the most notable one, our moon.
Oh,
The moon.
Our orbital.
all right, cool. Tell
Because
us
it's
about
pretty.
the moon.
Because it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it was the first one we knew about.
Yeah. We were like, hey, that's something up there. I
That
don't
big
know.
giant orb in the sky probably doesn't want to kill us. Yeah, sure. That's
Yeah.
nice.
No, it wants to kill us. Remember,
it's
everything
driving.
in the universe
I
wants
mean,
to
it's
kill us.
you know, the tug and pull of the moon and Earth's gravity. You get tides,
Mm-hmm.
which can kill you.
Yeah,
By the
you
way.
get water tides. You also get land tides.
And so basically, our moon is just kind of a cooled down ball of rock and some metal
Of Earth.
covered with a gray, dust-like material called regolith.
All right, well, let me ask a question because I think you're hoping somebody jumps in.
Yes, please.
All right. So, how was the moon formed? Let's just start with
By
that.
a
Let's
big-
start day one.
By what happened to Brandon a couple days ago.
A
big collision.
Cherokee slammed into the Earth about 3.5 billion years ago. And a
Going-
whole bunch of debris flung off of Earth, also my car, and slowly became the moon.
Yeah, actually, it was pretty quick in astronomical terms. But yeah, so it was called Theia, I believe.
yes,
a
yes.
Mars-sized object, not Mars itself, a
No.
Mars-sized object. Did a glancing blow of the
It was
Earth.
just like, hey, yo.
Which
Not-
saved us immensely, that glancing blow.
Yep.
Otherwise-
Knocked off a lot of material that coalesced and became the moon. Sped up the Earth's rotation a little bit at that point. The Earth's day was about 5 hours long.
That's a short-
And the moon was something like 22,000 miles away from the Earth. It's not that close to us anymore.
No, luckily.
And our day is not 5 hours long. Though during the week, I wish it was 5 hours long. Get through the week real
That'd be
quick.
nice. Yeah.
But on the weekend, I want to go
But
back
like
to like a
100
normal
hours.
time.
Like,
Yeah, and maybe we can get into that during the hangover or whatever, as to what's going on at the moon's further away now and that type of
the
thing. But
orbital dynamics of it all.
yeah,
Yeah.
has to do with tides, but that
Can't explain 'em.
Liz is already alluded
Can't
to.
explain them.
Yeah, so that's how the moon formed. Roughly 4.5 billion
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, shortly after our solar system was born.
Yeah, when there's a lot of crap that was kind of flying around.
A lot of collisions taking
A lot
place.
of collisions.
Heavy bombardment.
Yeah, and so there isn't any one person who has quote unquote discovered the moon.
You can't, because everybody's been able to see it as soon as if they had eyes and as soon as they worked.
I claim this discovery for Brandon. The moon.
And so the moon doesn't have a discoverer, but the rest, as we're going to find out, actually do.
Yes.
And your mom has a great question. Is that how most of them are formed? Yes and no. A lot of them are formed that way, especially
But
when it comes to
a
asteroids.
lot of them aren't.
Yeah, and a lot of them formed at the same time as the planet. And that actually was a big question that the physicists and astronomers had prior to the Apollo missions was, did the moon form at the same time as the Earth in that same cloud of gas and dust? Or did something run into it, knocking off all this material? Prior to the Apollo missions, the belief was that they formed together. But the Apollo missions, they got rocks. And they brought those rocks back home. And we were able to study those rocks
"Wait a
and find out the
minute."
composition. And the Apollo missions, much to the chagrin of one of the Apollo astronauts, Harrison Schmitt, really solidified the idea that the moon was formed in just an amazing collision a long time ago.
To see that crash.
Oh yeah,
Whew.
yeah. So, yeah, cool beans.
Cool, yeah.
So,
So-
we like,
So your moons can be formed by collision, and then others are captured, basically. Particles, rocks,
and
things
they
that...
can also form with the planet.
Yeah.
So there's really kind of three
There's a
ways.
bunch of-
three main ways in which
There's
to
a bunch of different ways that the moons are formed.
And sometimes the moons are delivered by space storks, and they get a new moon that way.
Moon storks?
Moon
Moon
storks,
storks.
yes.
Yes. Well, and maybe that's how our neighbor planet got its moons. Mars.
Yeah.
Mars has 2 moons,
Yeah, 2 little baby
Phobos
moons.
and
Little
Deimos.
little space
Yeah,
potatoes.
they're tiny. They're tiny little
Yeah,
space
they are
potatoes.
space
Real rocky
potatoes,
space
aren't they?
potatoes. And another place we find a ton of rocky little space potatoes is the asteroid belt.
Mm-hmm.
Asteroids are known to be rocky little space potatoes.
That's how much we care about Phobos and Deimos. They exist. Let's move on.
Well, I think
No,
they're
what I'm
kind of
saying
cool,
is
but
because they are most likely captured asteroids
Oh, definitely.
that
Yeah.
came in, and Mars they're small enough, and Mars has just enough gravity to be like, boop, you're mine now.
yeah.
I'm gonna be my new best friends.
Yeah, and there's a lot of evidence that, I mean, you can look at them and go, yeah, hey, they look like asteroids, but if you look at Phobos, Phobos is going around around Mars backwards, and
Which is a little weird.
yeah, it's called retrograde motion, and that means that it didn't form with Mars, and so
It has
was
to be
captured.
captured.
It has to be captured. It had to come from someplace
Yeah,
else.
because if it's forming with the planet, it's going to be rotating in that same direction, or
Same
orbiting in that
direction.
same direction,
Like when you
unless
toss in a
there's, but unless there's, like maybe an impact that then gets it to, go the other way, but the chances of that are pretty rare, or it would be
And then
too
that-
hard
that
of an
would just
impact that
destroy
that
it.
would
send
destroy
it
the
out
moon.
of.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
destroy it.
Yeah, so it has to, if it's going the other way, then it has to have just been captured. All right, so they're cute little guys. Notable because Mars is
Potatoes.
notable.
Discovered in the
And-
1800s. Aesop Hall.
Yeah.
Aesop?
I believe it's
Aesop.
Phobos
Oh.
that's
Aesop
slowly getting
Hall.
closer.
Uh,
the
Phobos is getting closer.
Phobos is getting closer, so it's going to eventually go a little kabowie into
Yeah,
Mars?
so anytime you have a moon that is going in retrograde motion,
Oh, its
in
orbit
the
is
opposite
degrading?
direction. Yeah, and so
Ah.
it is impossible it's doomed. And so the planet is robbing energy from the moon, and it's causing it to slow down and spiral in. And so Phobos is eventually going to be at least maybe ripped apart. Is it big enough to really be ripped apart? Is a question, probably. But a lot of that stuff's going to fall and impact on Mars.
And when can we approximately expect this event to happen? Do we know?
Tuesday.
I do not know the answer to that, but
Okay.
I'm sure that somebody has
it's
calculated
in probably millions of years from
it.
now.
Yeah, it's not in our lifetime.
Definitely not. Okay, so we got Mars. Moving on out to, I would say, the next planet that has some of the most notable moons
Pluto?
in the entire solar
Exoplanet?
system. And
Joopy
that's our
Joops.
best friend, Joopy Joops. Jupiter, king of the planets, has a lot of, 53 confirmed moons, 79, including the non-confirmations.
Brandon, you need a nap, buddy?
We all need a nap.
It's been a long week, man.
And so,
I think we ought to just say it has 79 moons.
okay, it has 79 moons. So most of its moons are like tiny, like captured asteroids, in comparison to Jupiter pebbles, basically, in a sense. Okay, so the most notable ones are the ones that most people have heard of or are vaguely familiar with, and those are the Galilean moons.
Galilean moon.
Discovered by Galileo in 1610.
1609.
1609.
January 1609. I think, hold on.
That was close, isn't it?
Actually, it might be January 1610.
Well, it was over the course of a week because he saw 3 first, then the 4th one came into view a week later.
Well, you heard it here first. It's either 1609 or 1610, everyone.
Yeah, I want to say it was January 1610. Yeah, so I think you're right,
Okay. Oh.
1610.
Hey, cool. And we're going to talk about 3 of the 4. Unless somebody else wants to chime in with the 4th one. But the first one,
I'm cool with 3.
okay, is one of my favorites. And this is the moon Io. And Io is the most volcanically active object in the entire solar system, and I love it.
How many volcanoes does it have
It
going on?
has over 400 active volcanoes, and
Nice,
some of those
nice.
can be seen with large telescopes from
Oh
Earth.
man, so Io's like the Mustafar of the solar system.
Oh my
God
gosh.
damn it. I was already taking a drink.
Oh, you know what? I didn't put our drink, our drink logo and icon and music in this new scene.
Ugh.
Whoops.
All right, well, there you go.
I'll put it in post. Anyway.
We'll fix it in post.
Fix it in post. And there are, you can go and look at images that have been composited together that actually show like a large volcano on Io erupting, and you see like the
plumes.
plume of
Phenomenal.
lava, and it's so cool. One of the most famous pictures is of the volcano Prometheus. Has this huge plume that's erupting.
What a cool name for a volcano.
I know, right?
Prometheus.
Like that's the
Yeah.
ultimate volcano name right there. So it's got a ton of volcanic activity, and that's because it's getting this like tug of war between Jupiter's massive gravity and Europa and Ganymede, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But they're basically stretching and squishing Io
Tell 'em
so
how
much.
you're stretching them. If you're standing on the surface of Io, the surface will go up 100 miles.
Yeah,
down.
yeah, I couldn't remember what
That
it
is why it is so
was.
That's
volcanically active.
insane.
And that's land, okay? So it's like that is think of the Earth's surface.
It's harder. So to put that in perspective, every day, twice a day, every 12 hours, you go up 1 foot on the Earth. You don't feel it. You don't notice it because everything on Earth goes
It's
up
going
because
up,
of the
yeah.
moon, and then goes back down. And so, but it's 100 miles on Europa.
It's a big land
Excuse me, on
waves.
Io.
And so that's generating just like this incredible amounts of energy inside of it that's keeping it molten inside, and then you have all the volcanic activity and the release of
Io
all
has
those
no
gases
choice
and
but
everything.
to have a molten core.
Yeah, it can't. Which is interesting because the majority of the moons throughout our solar system are more of these icy worlds that we're going to talk about. And Io is like really the only one that has just such like this destructive heat to it, essentially.
It's really the moon with the best personality.
It is. It's on fire. It's hot.
Yeah.
It's the hottest moon. It's something that I found interesting that I just learned today when I was actually preparing for the show, is that it orbits close enough to Jupiter where it cuts through its magnetic field, and that basically causes it to become like this electric generator, and so it generates an electric current of 3 million amperes, which I don't know.
3
what
million
that-
amps. It's a lot.
Okay, amps.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And it then causes lightning in Jupiter's atmosphere.
My God.
Yeah. 3 million amps is not something you want to touch.
Yeah, so it's on fire. It's electric.
Electric fire.
It's amazing.
Electric fire.
An electric
Electric
fire
space fire.
So that's Io.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It looks like a pizza, by the way.
It does look like a pizza. It looks like a
Ours is
pizza
gonna
that's
be
been
better,
like
though.
left out for a while, and maybe you don't want to touch it, but you're debating how hungry you are.
What
very-
pizza
very
actually gets
descriptive.
left out long
I don't know.
enough?
I'm
Not in our
imagining
house,
like
anyway.
I don't know, college frat boys or something like that's
God,
like
no,
the
they would eat it.
situation.
They would eat it.
Well, they would eat it, yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. So the next.
So we're going from hot to.
We're going to hot to real cold.
Yeah.
With Europa. So Europa, it's similar in size to the Earth's moon, except it is just basically a ball of ice with a liquid water ocean underneath its surface, which is really cool. And I didn't know this, but it also has a thin oxygen atmosphere.
How thin? How thin are we talking about
Like
here?
like
one billion?
You need to you
Probably,
need to
yeah.
bring breathing apparatus.
Oh, yeah.
If you go. So it's possible that underneath Europa's surface, because it has like a salty water ocean, which is actually, it has 2 times more ocean than we have here on Earth. but it's possible that it could have
Europeans.
I mean, but think about that. Twice as much water as the Earth has, but it is in an object the size of the moon.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
That's
So it's got a lot of water in it.
Has a ton of water. And you
Almost
have
like
those
Camino.
you have the tidal forces between moons that, keep it warm enough inside. It's not so hot that it's, volcanic obviously like Io or anything, but that keep it warm enough inside to have that liquid water. So there is a heat generation, and when, you have some sort of heat generation and liquid water come together, then
energy.
Chemical reactions can happen, and
who knows?
exciting stuff
Who
can
knows?
go down.
Maybe there's life.
Maybe there's life.
I would love to have, and I've said this before, like a submarine go down there, like drill a hole, have a submarine go in, and have like its first picture is this big squid that comes and eats it. I realize that it's a loss of billions of dollars, but what an amazing
But how
picture.
cool!
But we do have the Europa Clipper going to Europa soon.
Yeah, but that's not going into water, is it?
It's going
Not
through the
going
plumes.
It's what?
It's going to go through the plumes.
Yeah, and that's where you can find out.
And does it have a lander? I have to remind myself now. Because
Well,
for
we're
a
not
while
at
there, they were
Europa
trying to put the
yet,
lander
but
on
we'll
the
get
Europa
there.
Clipper.
You look it up, and then you can talk about it when we get to
I would
Europa.
think that you probably don't want to have that, but anyway, move on.
Well, my mom said, so glad our moon is icy, and then she asked, or is our moon just rock? And it's primarily rock. I mean,
There's ice in it.
there is some like water ice that's in the rock.
Yeah, especially that was one of the big things that we found down in at the southern pole was that there is ice there, and this ice is originating from comet impacts on the moon. So it's not like the water was there prior.
Yeah,
it's
it's
coming
being
from
deposited.
comet collisions with the moon, but it's predominantly rock. Our moon is.
Whereas when you get further out in the solar system, like where we are, it's cold enough to where you have more ice and more than just water ice, but different elements of ice, like nitrogen and that sort of thing, because they can freeze at this colder temperature. So,
Jack says that the sub gets eaten by a wild giant tardigrade.
oh, maybe
That's because
there
some
could be
asshole
one.
company didn't take stock of their
no.
debris, and they crashed, and now their tardigrades loose on the moons.
Oh my
Tell us what you
gosh.
think.
Oh,
Tell us
no.
what you think,
We've already
Brandon.
had
Tardigrade-
such a- we've already
tardigrades
had
on
a
the
rant
moon.
on this.
We have water
It's been a
bears
while.
on the moon.
But tardigrades can survive anywhere. Think there could be a giant tardigrade that's been able to
Oh,
grow
it's like
you
the
know,
giant
in-
starfish from
in,
Suicide Squad.
in Europa. Okay, all right. Next, we have the largest moon in the entire solar system,
Bigger than Mercury.
Ganymede. Bigger than Mercury and Pluto. Its radius comes in at 1,635 miles, whereas Mercury comes in at a paltry 1,515 miles.
Yeah, so Mercury needs to grow. This is 120
and not
miles,
shrink
man.
like it's doing. It's got to do the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So it's a big moon hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Jupiter is a huge planet, so it has the gravity to be able to hang on to such a large object. And this is another icy moon body with an underground saltwater ocean. And there's evidence that it might have like a tenuous oxygen atmosphere. And it also has its own magnetic field.
Oh, nice.
Which has never been seen on a moon before. So they still don't quite. There's something obviously a convection
churning.
that's generating it.
Io also has a bit of a magnetic field.
Well, that's not what I found in the notes, but okay. It might have to do with Io's is maybe based on how it's going through Jupiter's magnetic field and
it's-
stripping off and
Yes,
charge.
there's a lot to that, and also it's kind of cool. So Io and Ganymede both magnetically connected to Jupiter, and so just like the Earth, when it gets the solar wind from the sun and it hits the magnetic field and goes up to the poles to create the aurora, Jupiter is the same thing because of Ganymede and Io. It collects that magnetic field and it zips it up to its poles. So when you see the aurora on Jupiter, it's because of the moons.
Yeah. Okay.
Your mom's got a great question. How do we know? She's always got great questions.
Well, you know.
How do we know it's salt water?
Well,
Pro-
we can see resurfacing on the surface
Right, but how do you
of
know it's salt
the
water?
moons, and so they can look at that and study its use spectroscopy to study basically what it's made out of.
Yeah, that's
To
one
see
way.
the different elements that are in it.
That's one way.
Oh.
Another way. Another way.
I-
Go ahead, Brandon.
I'd imagine if it was fresh water, it would be frozen water.
Well, all you got to do. Well, one of the ways that you got to do. One of the ways to do it is just, especially if you don't get any kind of remodeling on the
Cold
surface,
salt block.
like with Callisto, which is the Galilean moon we're not going to talk about, or with Ganymede, you don't have a lot of remodeling on the surface. Is you know how big it is, you know its mass, and then you're able to figure out its density
Oh,
from that. And so
fresh water would be a lot less dense.
Yeah, so fresh water has a density of 1, which is by definition. And salt water, I believe, is a little bit more of that because of the salt content.
Alright.
Rock is a lot
Okay.
more.
So if you would go ahead.
If your moon, if you have a moon that has a density of around 1, then and it has a solid surface, then you know a lot of that interior part is water. Of some kind. And so, I mean, you're really kind of just looking at density for these things.
That's why we have fancy physics man here.
But what were you going to say, Brandon?
You could put it in a bathtub and it'll displace more water than the fresh water Ganymede.
Yeah, what? Saturn. Saturn's the
Saturn
one.
Yeah,
If you had it
Saturn's
in
the
a
less.
bathtub big
Yeah,
enough, it would
because
float.
and you don't want to do that because
It'll
it'll
leave-
leave rings.
Yeah, but then you
But it's okay. Use
Comet.
Use Comet. Yeah, Comet.
Comet cleans it up.
Cleans it right up. I love that. It's just
Welcome to our
Uh,
planetarium
2 for
shows,
1, 2
folks.
for 1 jokes in that. All right. One last thing about Ganymede is that Galileo spacecraft, not the scientist, the spacecraft, flew by Ganymede.
But okay, go ahead, finish. I'm
Are
sorry.
you visualizing Galileo Galilei flying by?
Well, no.
Oh,
Go
his
ahead,
arms
go
are
ahead.
out wide like he's an airplane going. Woo, he's in
He's
space.
got like a telescope in one hand.
All right, so go ahead. What did the spacecraft find?
Oh, it found it heard whistling and hissing sounds coming from Ganymede, which is kind of terrifying, actually.
Well, yeah, I wonder what those are. What's causing those? But what I was going to say is, I can hear Galileo Galilei whistling when he discovers Ganymede, and maybe hissing later when he's pissed off at something.
The church.
He's pissed off at the Pope about something.
Yeah.
But do they know what caused the whistling and the hissing?
It didn't
No?
say, and
Didn't say.
I did not look further into it.
All right.
But I would assume that maybe it could be like some outgassing per se, of maybe if it's having some of that liquid water come up from the surface, or
Sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
and
no.
don't
know.
forget
I think
its
I'm dying.
proximity. Its proximity to Europa, because all worlds belong to you except Europa. So maybe there's potential noises coming from that moon interfering with Ganymede.
Okay,
Is that too much of a reference
maybe.
there?
Yeah, all
Well,
worlds
you-
belong to.
Actually, in my headphones, you kind of broke up.
You did break up a little bit, but melting and
Okay.
melting and freezing, or.
I'm sorry, Brandon. But
This is what I get.
the audio broke.
All right. Anything else you want to say about Ganymede? Brandon, final words on Ganymede?
God.
Look.
There was a show I gave once, and an old lady came up to me, and she goes, "Oh, you talked about Ganymede, but you didn't talk about the skyscrapers on Ganymede." What? So
How could you
there are
forget
not,
those, Brandon?
There are not skyscrapers on Ganymede.
That we know of.
Oh.
But clearly she knows about them. But all right, I think we ought to get to the moon that we are going to have to take a lot of drinks for.
We're gonna get we'll get
There's
to
a
it
couple
right
of
now. So
The first one.
the
here.
next planet in line with some notable moons Saturn.
Yeah, we're
your
moving
favorite
out.
planet. Saturn,
The
of
Lord
course.
of the Ring.
Oh,
Take a drink.
Let's just go ahead and do this.
Clearly, obviously known for its ring system. All right, but it's got some cool moons. It's got some interesting moons. One of them is a moon called Mimas.
Mimas.
And
What does Mimas look like?
Mimas has a signature feature, which is a giant impact crater on its surface that takes up about the third of the size of the moon. And this crater essentially makes it look like the Death Star.
It's the Death Star moon.
It's the Death Star
From
moon.
from a certain point of view.
And so that's why it's no moon.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that crater is called Herschel Crater.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I figured just saying Herschel, that Brandon will now go on a tangent over his love of William and Caroline Herschel.
Let me tell you about William and Caroline Herschel, along with their son John Herschel, who we'll talk about later in this episode as well. So he was the first to. No, I'll let that go.
I was gonna like give you like a minute, and then I was gonna cut you off. All right. So this Herschel crater, is again, it's huge, stretches a third of the diameter across this planet, and then it's pockmarked all over with craters all over its surface, but it's that one big one that's striking across its features and makes it stand out and kind of have this place in pop culture.
I like for the podcast listeners, not necessarily the YouTube watchers, but Liz gets excited when you hear the clinking of the drink. Oh, she's
As I start
gesticulating.
moving
She's
around.
getting into this.
Mike hates it. Now, okay, a weird thing about Mimas, though, is that it's closer to Saturn than Enceladus, the next planet, moon. The next moon.
Yeah.
I know. I keep wanting to call them
You
planets.
wanted to call something else planet.
I know.
And I always want to call it Mimas. I've never called it Mimas.
Really?
Yeah, I've always called it Mimas.
I've always heard it as Mimas.
Mimas,
Well,
Mimas.
These are differences that we
potato.
cannot come together over.
No, it's over now. Okay.
This is the last episode of the podcast, guys. It's been fun.
Mimas!
I'm out.
Mimas. Well, these were actually
I hear you
named
so much better
by.
now.
Did the Herschel's name these?
Yeah, so
moons?
the question was how are these moons named, and it's typically named by their discoverer most of the time. So, for example, when we get to Uranus, those moons were discovered but
Don't
not
give it away.
named.
Don't give it away.
I'm not giving that away, but they weren't named until like 100 years after the fact. So typically by discoverers, but not always.
My mom has trouble naming her dogs.
No, Jordy's a great name.
Yes. Okay.
Jordy's a great name.
Jordy's the best name.
So the thing about Mimas, again, it's closer to Saturn than Enceladus, so it should have more tidal heating. So it should be, meaning it should have more resurfacing happening.
You would think, yeah.
You would think, but it doesn't.
What?
Which is crazy. So, like, that frozen surface has persisted long enough to preserve the craters.
So the crust is thicker.
So the crust, I guess so.
Yeah, it's thicker.
So it's.
I do like a good thick crust on my pizzas.
I
and
like
moons.
thin crust.
Yeah.
Really? You're that?
I'm more of an Enceladus person.
I just like the Pizza Hut pan pizza crust.
Is that kind of in the middle?
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Now, having
You like the
said
Goldilocks pizza?
I will eat any pizza you put in front of me.
Just give me
That's-
pizza.
that's a
It's
good fact.
gonna go in my mouth. All right. Speaking of Enceladus, Enceladus is a
Moon?
a moon. One of the most. I'd say one of the most. Another very notable moon in our solar system.
It's a notable orbital.
It's a notable orbital in the solar system, and that's because it has plumes of water ice coming out from it. These just shooting off this plumes, which means, okay, clearly it has an internal ocean. It has heat
It's like
Internal liquid
it's like a
water, yeah.
space humidifier.
generation, yeah, and Cassini, rest in peace, rest in Saturn.
Yeah, that's better.
That's
But
a good way to put
in peace in Saturn.
In peace in Saturn.
In pieces in
In
Saturn.
pieces in Saturn. in
Welcome
atoms
to
of
the
Saturn.
second half of Cosmos. Cosmos.
So, the spacecraft Cassini, during its last dregs, its last little bits of its voyage in orbit around Saturn, one of the last things they did was have it fly through the plumes of Enceladus to get a little taste, see what's going on there, what flavors it can pick out.
Saturn's at the end, and it's just like, I'm eating everything
Yeah,
now.
pretty much. It's like, and so they found that it has most of the chemical ingredients needed for life. So there's carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, a little dash of ammonia, and either some carbon monoxide or nitrogen. So, you know.
And clearly it has a heating source because there's liquid water.
Yeah, in fact, there's they think there's hydrothermal vents likely under in the surface, and hydrothermal vents were very important for a certain planet that does have life on it. Me, I'm the planet.
Planet Liz.
What were you gonna say, Brandon?
I was going to say those hydrothermal vents, they're quite important here on Earth as well because we have things popping up around them. Little life forms. So, maybe we go take a look, and after we get by the giant squid that's going to eat us, we see little life forms near the vents.
Yeah,
because little extremophiles.
You know what they say about life.
What do they say about life? Say it. Say it right.
Life finds a way.
It's just the longest pause.
And gotta be dramatic.
It's the longest.
Although you did forget the life finds a way.
Okay, well, I wasn't trying to be Jeff Goldblum because that's how
we should all strive to be that.
That's true.
Your mom wants to know: are the plumes steam?
No. No, they're water ice. It's like a geyser, basically. They're basically water ice geysers.
That's not what you have in the notes. It's ejaculate.
I wasn't gonna read that out loud. Okay, so basically, so my note on, so my note is if you like it, put a ring on it. So the icy particle ejaculate from Enceladus creates Saturn's E-ring.
Oh yeah, that was gonna have to be in the show somewhere.
Okay, icy particle ejaculate, new science term for
yeah, the plumes of Enceladus.
Plumes of
Enceladus ejaculate.
Yeah. So they're icy particles, and they actually form they actually form the E-ring of Saturn. So, which is really cool. And it's you can imagine it's pretty cold out there.
Yeah, it's pretty cold there.
So hence why why it's also not steam coming out. It's negative 330 degrees.
Oh, is that?
But yeah, it gets colder. So we'll get to that. All right. Anything else on Enceladus?
No.
Okay.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Do we?
We
still have a long way to go.
All right.
Like 208 moons
do
to talk about.
Do we want to skip?
Yes, let's go to Titan.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. We'll skip to the best. All right. Saturn's.
You just skipping Uranus like that? That's fine.
Yeah. No.
No, Titan.
Oh, I thought you said the other one with the R.
Okay. Jesus. Amateur. Okay. So, Saturn's largest moon and the second largest moon in the solar system, the baddest motherfucker in the entire
Samuel
solar
L. Jackson
system,
of moons.
is Titan. It is Ganymede, by the way, is only 2% larger than Titan.
Okay,
so I mean, to me,
so 30 miles is what we're talking about. 32 miles is what we're talking about.
So it's not that much, not that much bigger. And the one of the most interesting features of Titan is that it has a thick atmosphere, primarily made of nitrogen.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, I assume, is there carbon dioxide in there as well?
Probably.
Yeah. So this thick atmosphere, and it has 50 times more air pressure than our atmosphere has on us.
And
so
it's taller than our atmosphere.
it's taller. So in fact, looking at Titan, we can't see the surface of Titan with just our eyes. We have to use special technology, like radio imaging, in order to map what the surface looks like. Or we can send
a
lander, the
Huygens
probe with, what was the lander?
It was
lander
Huygens.
Huygens?
Yeah,
Huygens.
Cassini was the spacecraft.
Oh, it was on Cassini. That's right. So Huygens, which descended onto the surface of Titan, and took pictures once it got there. It didn't last very long, but the pictures that it took showed rocks.
Ice.
Oh well, yeah, okay. They're ice that behaves like rock, but
Yeah,
it's
so
it's
cold
ice.
the ice behaves as rock.
Yeah, so it's basically ice, but they're like it basically like polished pebbles, like what you would find in riverbeds on Earth. So that was direct visual evidence of that water once flowed, a liquid, I should say, once flowed in that area.
And what are those liquids?
And they what's been shown is that Titan does have lakes and rivers of liquid methane,
And
ethane, these hydrocarbons that can go into the building blocks of life.
Really cool.
It's super cool. This moon is like,
And really cold.
And yeah, we still
300
haven't got to the
degrees
best
below
parts. I'm gonna wait for Liz to get there.
what
I'm gonna see if you get there.
to what the best part?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of the best part, other than
Geographical features on Titan are named after.
this is the one. This is the one. I forgot that this is the one named after Lord of the Rings characters. All right. Name off your favorite Titan Lord of the Rings features. Brandon, go. No drinks. No drinks supply.
we're just gonna
Faramir, Doom, Erebor.
Okay, what are they?
Misty Mountains.
We're just naming things for the books now.
Okay, no. So like
Balrog.
the things named after the characters, like Gandalf, for example, those are hills, big old hills on Titan, named after the Lord of the Rings characters. Same thing with big mountains, like the Misty Mountains or Mount Doom. Those are much bigger mountains. So that makes me happy.
Nice.
Cool. So Titan, literally a cool place, but an atmosphere that is thicker than the Earth, taller than the Earth.
And apparently Middle Earth.
Yeah, it's Middle Earth. It has lakes, rivers, and streams.
It has large
methane
seas.
And ethane.
Like these seas can be hundreds of miles wide and hundreds of feet deep.
And it goes through seasons. Has a nice thick atmosphere.
Rains.
And you could walk on it without like a spacesuit.
Well,
you would die.
You need to bring oxygen and a jacket. But if you jump, you can fly by just flapping your arms, right? Wasn't that the thing?
I don't know about that.
I think maybe
There
not.
was a whole thing we would
see
say.
it.
I remember talking about it in the planetarium where
see
it was like you can fly on Titan, just by like
you can
flapping
fly
your
easier.
your
All right, so
arms
it's going
or
to have less
something.
gravity, so you don't need as much lift to get you up. You would just need the wing, and you'd have to be able to flap it.
Yeah. Okay.
Strong
I don't
enough.
know what it. I don't know.
It would
what
also take you an extraordinarily long time to fall off a cliff.
How long would it take, Brandon?
It would take an extraordinarily long time to fall off a cliff. Not like 30 seconds or a minute. It's going to take like at least 30 minutes.
Well, at least then maybe you have time to like figure something out,
Before
or just come to terms
before you die.
Wait, if you go
But
that
the
slow,
landing,
though,
but the landing
maybe,
would be better. Yeah.
maybe if you tuck and roll, you'd be okay.
Unless it's like onto like jagged ice rocks.
Well, okay.
Well.
All right.
I'm just
How fast do you have to hit the ground before you die?
Well, that depends how you land.
All right, Uranus.
Anyway, all right. So again, Titan. Is there a mission, or was there a mission that's planned to Titan?
Yes, there is. It got confirmed. It's going to go land in the lake.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited for that. So
Be nice
such
little
amazing,
boats on Titan.
Such amazing science is going to come from that. I'm
floating.
excited. All right. Every middle schooler's favorite planet. Uranus.
Uranus.
You
Fucking
crusher of
people,
dreams.
Jesus. And my note on for Uranus is a moon by any other name would orbit as sweet. And that's because all the moons are
nice.
named after Shakespeare characters, which is
Hey.
weird. It's weird. It's real weird.
But it kind of makes sense when you get the reasoning behind it. So, so we referenced this earlier with the William McLaren Herschel's son, John Herschel. He named the moons. So they weren't named after Greek gods, which typically is how they go. But Uranus was the god of the sky and air, so it was reasoned that the spirits should accompany it. So all the names, the Shakespeare characters, are actually spirits in their plays as well. So like Puck and Ariel and Titania, they're spirits.
And
Okay.
Miranda.
I didn't know that because I don't really know a whole lot about Shakespeare other than the 1997 Romeo and Juliet by Baz Luhrmann.
All right, let's talk Miranda.
Okay, Miranda. Miranda is a messed up bitch. This moon
Damn.
This moon
what it
is
says in the
Miranda's
notes.
despite
this
her
moon
clemency.
has a Frankenstein face. She is
Oh.
rough.
Is that the one with the check mark on it?
Check mark.
Yeah, there's like one that has like a big
Oh,
check
I don't
mark
know
on
if it has a check mark on it.
I think it's Miranda.
But
I
it's
remember
got
that.
it's just has this really weird terrain. And it looks like it's been pieced together from different parts, just like DIY.
Oh yeah, Frankenstein moon. Yeah.
DIY moon essentially. And so
Etsy moon.
one of the main
Who's somebody who's not good
No,
at.
just some real bad off-brand Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And so one of the main hypotheses that how it happened is that it may have been like completely smashed apart from an impact, and then those pieces came back together, but you have some outside mixed with some inside.
Oh yeah.
So it's
yeah.
almost like an inside out moon in a way.
Like
Or
a calzone.
yeah,
calzone moon. You know where my mind's at right now.
Pizza. Yeah, you wish you were here.
Oh.
And the other
Uber man.
the other hypothesis is that large meteor strikes partially melted the icy subsurface, and so then you had like periods of like slushy water kind of rising to the surface and like smoothing over those areas. But personally, I like the cataclysmic impact and coming
Oh.
back together inside out and
Well,
shit.
that's a lot more fun
Exactly.
for us.
Yes.
Not for the moon.
Not for Miranda. Oh, poor anthropomorphized moon. I almost said it correctly. Anyway, a feature on Miranda that is interesting is called. Are you showing us prices of Ubers?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I am.
It is out of focus.
It's a pricey pizza. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, but
all
we're
right.
here.
That's true. Anyway, coronae are an interesting feature on Miranda. So they're like these lightly cratered regions of ridges and valleys. And the giant fault canyons are 12 times deeper than the Grand Canyon.
Oh, this is the
And-
one. This is the one where you can
I-
jump off.
Oh.
I was just thinking about this. The Grand Canyon gets a bad rap, like solar system wise, because everything's compared to it and everything dwarfs it. Like you think the Grand Canyon is big, wait until you see any other canyon in the solar system.
Well,
yeah, but it's the
not-
only thing that we can use to help us. Like,
I know it's just kind of funny.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's a canyon on Kauai, in Hawaii, that's actually bigger than the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
It's deeper.
The Mariana Trench.
Okay,
is
that's
also-
above water.
Okay.
It's above water, but yeah. I mean, the Grand Canyon's got some great marketing.
So this is a really big canyon.
Really big, yeah. Well, really big. cliffs.
However, if you jump off the Grand Canyon, you're gonna hit the floor, and probably some the side of the wall and stuff.
And donkeys.
In pretty quick fashion. Whereas if you dropped a rock off the edge of the tallest cliff on Miranda, it would take 10 minutes to reach the
That's
floor.
a long time.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna take us back for a second. I'm still stuck on the Grand Canyon
Okay,
idea.
let's go back.
So, you know how we name telescopes like the really big telescope, the enormous telescope,
Yeah.
like what if we name canyons in the solar system that way? We have the Grand Canyon, and then you have the really Grand Canyon and the extremely Grand Canyon. I think we should petition the IAU.
But
to
how
name
many
canyons that way.
synonyms for large and big and huge and gigantic.
Ostentatious canyon.
You know, there are books. They're called thesauruses. They can give
Yeah,
you
but
all
I'm
the
saying
synonyms.
how
No, those
many
are
synonyms.
possible
No,
ones
those
could there
those
be?
only existed in the Paleolithic era.
Okay.
Okay, so in a nutshell, basically Uranus, most of its moons are rocky and icy cratered balls that are very similar to each other in a sense. And actually, most of them, they do have like the same ratio of rock to ice in them.
Cool.
So, good on you, Uranus. On
Nice.
to Neptune. Neptune, again, Neptune has like 15 moons.
Yeah.
Right? But there's only one that really matters. Right, and that is the one that Brandon got confused with earlier. Similar to Titan, except it's called Triton,
Yeah.
and is
Mars.
nothing like the actual moon, Titan itself.
No, this one goes around backwards.
So, which means, what have we learned, kids?
Capture
if it has
dwarf
retrograde
planet.
motion.
Yes, it means that in 3.6 billion years from now, Neptune is going to rip it apart.
And that means Neptune gets a new shiny
Nice ring.
Yeah, which it will exist, unlike
gonna
the
say
Earth
pair
in
of, but it's
3+
like that pair.
billion years. So Neptune will still have rings. That's cool.
Yeah.
Which would be cool. I mean, imagine, that'd be cool to see. Like that ring system form.
Yeah.
I mean, sad for Triton, because you get no more Triton, but...
Yeah, but if you had to go out some way, you might as well go
That's-
out in
that's
an
the way to go out.
epic planetary
Exactly.
ring.
That's the way to go
Exactly,
out.
yeah. So Triton, as Brandon alluded to, it is a captured Kuiper Belt object. And got too close to Neptune, and Neptune was like, "Hey, buddy, come over here. You're mine now." And Triton is pretty like weird because it has this like weird surface texture that resembles a cantaloupe
Oh, yeah, it does.
on
It
it.
does
So
look
it's
like
known
Yeah,
as
it
like
does.
a cantaloupe moon.
Only like half of it, yeah.
Yeah, like
Because
on part
the
of
other half's
it.
different, yeah.
Yeah, and these are like smooth volcanic plains formed by like icy lava flows. Icy lava flows. So you're not going to have your, fire volcanoes out here on Triton like on Io. Out here you have cryovolcanoes.
That's so cool.
Ice volcanoes.
No pun intended. Yeah.
You just have like lava of like nitrogen and like methane and stuff just like spewing from the surface. Like it's just such a weird, like I have no way to visualize it,
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
hard. It's a hard thing to visualize, but it sounds amazing.
Ice cubes being shot up off the surface
Yeah.
instead of like lava.
Lava, yeah, because you want
It's
to
like an
picture
ice
it.
dispenser, but going up
Yeah, exactly.
in cube form.
And so it's has that weird surface texture there, and it is the coldest moon in the solar system, coming in at a whopping negative 391 degrees.
I mean, almost
Fahrenheit.
400 degrees below zero.
That's
Almost absolute zero. It's not too far from absolute
Wow.
zero.
What
That's
is
cool.
absolute zero
It's
in
like
Fahrenheit?
450 degrees below zero,
Oh,
roughly.
it's like reasonable.
yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Triton. What are you doing, man?
So-
Drop 60 more degrees.
So it has this like thin atmosphere that's made mostly of nitrogen, and a lot of the nitrogen condenses as frost on the surface, and so that then creates a super high reflectivity. So it reflects 70% of sunlight, so it can get that cold.
Oh, nice. But when you're talking about the volcanoes, you didn't talk about geysers,
Yeah, it has ice geysers.
and then they go up, and then what happens?
I was gonna get back to it.
Okay, well you.
Okay.
you move
So
on.
I've been making hand motions here the whole time.
I know. I was gonna get back to them. All right. So the cryovolcanism, it has these ice geysers, which is a mixture of water, ammonia, and nitrogen. So they blast off from the surface of Triton. They were up 26,000 feet high in the air, and then
Make a right turn.
they get blown over at a 90-degree angle, and it's super weird. And
Why?
astronomers don't understand
know.
really like why that's happening. If there's like winds that are
Yeah,
strong
it's
enough,
really
or
weird though
it's,
that those
like-
winds to be at 26,000 feet.
yeah. So it's like it's a weird
It's a mystery.
Mysterious moon.
It's an ice volcano mystery.
Notable orbital Mysterio.
That is the best Nancy Drew book of all time. Nancy Drew, The Mysterious Plumes on Triton.
I read it.
And the Hardy Boys help.
Babysitters Club came in there.
And then the Boxcar Children show up, and
Everybody shows up.
Harriet the Spy
We're
gets
gonna
in there.
solve this.
I was a little too old for Harriet the Spy. Anyway, all right. So Triton, pretty cool, pretty awesome. But we're not done yet because we featured planets with moons so far, and it would be only fair to feature the most famous dwarf planet, Pluty Ploots. Good old Ploots.
Pluty Ploots.
Pluto Ploots.
Probably has one of my top 3 favorite moons in the solar system, I'd say.
And that is, how do you pronounce it?
So it's named after his wife, Charlotte Sharon.
I thought it's named after the boatman to the underworld.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's how it's pronounced, is with the soft ch, the Sharon.
Sharon.
But yes, no, you're right about that. It's named after the ferryman who carried the souls across the river to the underworld, Pluto. So.
And it's spelled Charon.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to say like Charon or something.
Charon. Yep.
But Sharon. And it's half the size of Pluto.
Yeah.
Pluto's smaller than our moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is smaller than the United States.
Yeah. So Sharon is half of that. So it's pretty small, but compared to the size of Pluto, it's a ginormous moon for Pluto to have. It's it's too big for Pluto to really have captured it, being a separate object to capture it to have a moon. Or it seems like it should be too big. And maybe they formed together.
Maybe.
But it's also known as like a double dwarf planetary system.
Mm-hmm.
Binary dwarf planet.
Binary dwarf planet. They have mutual tidal locking, so both sides face each other all the time.
Constantly. I mean, you had to get sick of that face after a while.
I know. It's like, God, get out of here. Can I see the
But
other side?
that's
one
gonna
of the
happen
big
to the Earth
reasons-
and the Moon. Eventually.
Moon is going bye-bye.
So one of the best reasonings to call it a binary dwarf planet system in my mind is that the barycenter, the point where the two objects orbit one another, is outside of Pluto. So for example, the moon and the Earth, they orbit a point that's inside of the Earth. Mm-hmm. Jupiter and all of its moons orbit a point inside of Jupiter. But Pluto and Charon there, they orbit a point outside of Pluto itself. Mm-hmm. So it's not actually orbiting Pluto, it's orbiting this point just outside the surface. So in my mind, that's a great definition for a binary system.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I can get on board with that.
Oh, yeah. I think that's how most everybody sees it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's a drink.
That's a drink.
It's been a while since we've had that.
I know. And it's basically just like, it's like Pluto where, well, it's different in surface composition than Pluto is,
similar,
but it's another icy moon.
Well, the similarness would imply that they form together.
Yeah.
And also on Charon, you have this red Tholen stuff, which is very common on Pluto, but it's only in the one area in Charon. So what we're thinking is that there's some kind of impact or something, and the Tholen deposited itself from Pluto onto Charon on this northern part of the moon, and that red area on Charon is called Mordor.
Are they allowed to do that? Is Mordor taken up over in over?
No,
on
they don't
Titan
have
at all?
No, they have Mount Doom, but they don't have Mordor.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, all the features on Pluto are named for like Star Trek characters and people, Star Wars, and isn't Tolkien on Pluto as well?
So maybe, but Tolkien.
Or
yeah, you're right. It might also be on Mercury, because I know Mercury has creators listed for artists and writers, but most likely on Pluto as well. What was I going? One of the things I love about it is that it's really close to Pluto. It's only 12,000 miles away, which is obscenely close for a moon. And so when you see the pictures, they're just right next to each other. It looks amazing. I just love looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like you said, they're tidally locked, or maybe you said it, they're tidally locked mutually. So you can be on the far side of Pluto
and never see
the moon.
Like, you could live there and never know Pluto has a fucking
Yeah,
moon hanging out.
and but if you're in the right place, it's always up above the horizon, and there it is, and looking cool
Excellent.
and everything.
Man.
But Pluto actually has 4 other moons. They go right.
What do we got? Nyx,
Hydra,
Hydra,
and that's all I know.
Styx,
Styx.
Caravos.
Okay, yep. The 3-headed dog.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
And
That's
did we
right.
talk? We said Hydra already, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we said Hydra.
Okay.
And then Sharon. So
Cool.
yeah, so we got some wild moons in our solar system. Pretty pretty notable
Orbitals.
Orbitals.
if I do say. Which then, you get to think about all the other planetary systems that we've been discovering out there. And,
They have to have moons as well. Exomoons.
Exomoons, have to be out there. And with the crazy weird exoplanets that we've discovered so far, you gotta have some wild fucking moons out there.
I want to believe.
Thank you. I was hoping someone was gonna make it better.
I gotcha.
All right.
All right. Well, that's been this episode.
Yeah,
of
this was a
Cosmos
solid
with
throwback
Cosmos.
to season 1. We had really long episodes.
I know,
This was
right?
good.
We went.
Well,
Went
you're Skyping in, so
Yeah, that's what this was.
So stick around for The Hangover if you're joining us now, or you can find The Hangover later on
What are we
YouTube.
talking about in Hangover?
We'll
who
figure it out.
knows?
We'll figure it
Space
out.
pizzas.
We had something from earlier
figure
that
it out.
we could talk about, but
Okay.
I don't know if I remember it.
All
We'll
right.
see.
So
And then what's the next episode on?
we don't know.
We don't know yet, folks. We're still figuring that out. So stay tuned for that. But for now, thanks for joining us. Follow us on all the things at Drinking Cosmos and at Cosmos with Cosmos. And we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Peace. And for those of you joining us on YouTube, we'll be right back. So stick around, hang tight.
See you in a minute.
Make new drink.
Bye.
#P
Welcome back to The Hangover with Cosmos.
It is so weird having it like season 1 where
Brandon's.
we're
I know.
Skyped in
And I had looked on the Skype, and the last time I had called Liz over Skype
was like
January of 2021 or something
It
like
was
that. I
March
was
of
like, wow.
2021.
Yeah, you're right. But before I moved in with you guys.
oh yeah, that was a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
feels like it should be 2025 right now.
It's all 2020. It's like March 389
It's,
2020 right now.
2020 all the way down.
Yeah.
So anyway, in the comments during the main show, Podcast Mom talked about or made the reference to the Little Mermaid because we said pre-Googlian, which is a tool that they talked about in Little Mermaid. But the moment she said does that not sound familiar to you?
What?
So the bird in Little Mermaid that gets all of the contraptions and tools for Ariel, and he calls them like you Googlies or something like that, and it's a Little Mermaid reference. But
Oh,
bear with me.
wow.
But in any case, the moment she said Little Mermaid, I got the song stuck in my head. And then I immediately put it to Moons. And then during the break, I was like, okay, clickety clack. So in my head, I was like, look at this moon. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you say my orbit's complete? Wouldn't you say I'm a moon? A moon that has everything. I've got methane and hillsides and mountains. I've got atmo and seasons galore. You want lake effects? I've got plenty. What's more, I want life. That's as far as I went.
That
was brilliant.
beautiful. Oh my
That was
God.
brilliant.
That was
I know.
amazing.
You
I
said
want
it,
Little
you said it
Mermaid
was
songs to
terrible, but
type.
it was brilliant.
Wow.
Oh, and by the way, there is one of the moons of Uranus is Ariel.
The Ariel, yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow, that's what I thought you were going with that route. That I wasn't it.
That
was
is not a route.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I thought there was going to
That was
be
better
some
than
sort of
my Shakespeare.
editorial comment on
I
something.
know. I was like, oh God. All right. So,
I can editorialize all day, but
so with that
that
being
was
said,
brilliant.
clearly our the main episode we talked about notable orbitals and the moons of the solar system. And we had there was a question or there was something that I had made a comment in the main show saying, oh, that would be good to talk about in The Hangover, if I remember it. And guess what? I don't remember what it was.
What?
Hey, I just sit here with Smeegs over my shoulder.
The Smeegs over there.
Deadpool
Smeegs.
Deadpool
Right
snakes.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was. I don't know if anybody of you out there can remember.
This is
what it was.
exactly how we want to start a hangover, but this is perfect way
but I
of
don't know.
starting hangover.
I don't know if it was maybe something along the lines of some other moons we didn't cover, because there are other moons
We
out there
hit
that
everything on the list.
I don't know a lot about. But there are other interesting moons. Like for instance, Saturn has Hyperion, which looks like a fucking loofah sponge, but jaggedy.
Well, I think all right, so we talked about planets with moons. Asteroids have moons too.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was. Maybe that's what it was.
Recently, and by recently, I think the paper just came out where 130 Electra, an asteroid, spelled with a K.
Oh, so it was named after like the Marvel or the
Sure.
Is it Marvel? No, DC.
DC, Elektra. Oh, no, because Elektra is with Daredevil, so Marvel.
Anyway,
Okay.
it has 3 moons going around it, and
Wow.
it is the first asteroid
How big is it?
that has 3 moons. It is, 100 miles across, 150 miles across.
I mean,
If I remember right.
my favorite asteroid moon pair, which is the only asteroid moon pair that I know, is Ida and Dactyl.
Ida
Which is
and
the first
Dactyl.
one,
Just because I think
1993.
Dactyl, that would be like a cute
Dactyl's
like,
a cool name.
pug name or something.
Galileo spacecraft discovered it in 1993.
Well, Dactyl, in my mind, is like a fantasy pterodactyl, but they just name it Dactyl.
Because it's not from Earth, so it can't be a pterodactyl.
Yeah, it's
it's
just a
got to be a
dactyl.
dactyl.
Not that I've used that before in writing, but yeah,
Sawdactyl.
totally.
A what?
Soldactyl. Solar system dactyl.
Soul dactyl.
Soul dactyl.
Okay. All right. I got to take one headphone off this ear so I can hear you better.
Yeah,
Okay.
it just sounds too weird. Brandon is coming in my left ear. It's just my left ear doesn't hear well anyway.
Look, we look like sports announcers now. With like just it off one ear, be like, yes. Oh,
this just in, we're going to Mike George on the sidelines. Mike, take it away.
It's really
Asteroids
weird.
with moons.
It's really weird hearing Brandon just in my left ear. Yeah.
So is that the most moons we currently know that an asteroid has?
Yeah.
Most moons of an asteroid.
It's the first one with 3 moons that we know of.
I mean, if you think about it, the asteroid belt, even though objects are millions of miles apart from each other, you have, larger bodies with just millions of tiny, tiny bodies, some particulates, if you will.
Right.
So, I mean, eventually you have stuff that gets close enough and,
Yeah, and these moons, if I remember right, were something like 3.2 miles across, 1.2 miles across, and 1 mile across. So they're small, very small.
Yeah.
By our standards,
Tiny.
but tiny moons, but they're moons nonetheless.
Yeah.
And so
Don't
and
discriminate
there's about
moons by
150 asteroids that have moons that we know of. So.
Cool.
I hate saying that, like, there's 214 moons. We need to put an asterisk on this and say these are 214 that we know about.
Yeah.
And 150 asteroids have moons. Well, that's an asterisk. These are the 150 that we know about. And, exoplanets. You alluded to that in the main podcast.
I did.
Are there exomoons? Of course there's going to be exomoons out there.
Yeah.
And maybe James Webb can find some of these guys, and what a cool discovery. We're not unique. That is an amazing discovery. Either or really is an amazing discovery to find. That we aren't unique, or we are unique.
Which then also, creates just more options of, for that, like, Star Trek universe. I hope, we don't have to live on a planet. We can live on, like, the moon of Endor.
Yeah,
wait, you just swapped franchises there.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I do what I want.
And by the way, Discovery, we need to chat about your latest episode. I have questions about your latest
episode.
episode.
Picard comes out in the week, man.
I know, man.
It does. And what's the other? Oh, the Blackbeard.
The
Blackbeard one.
Taika Waititi.
Okay. I'll be there next week.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a great weekend.
Okay.
Oh, you're not gonna be out of town? And you'll have a car.
With somebody leaving the company, I might be out of town. I don't know.
We'll play it by ear.
Well, you know what? I think that means more shots. We'll be creating more shots.
Okay, so side note, if you have not listened to the new shot episode, I love it so much. So these little bites, the 5 to 10 minutes a piece, is phenomenal. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you know what? We really would love to know your thoughts on it. So, good or bad, please let us know.
And please don't let every comment or critique be, we need more Brandon every time, because we get that. We understand that I'm the main distraction.
No one's asked for that. No one's
Wow.
complained about that.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, he's not the first shot.
I'm still waiting on his report from all these assignments he's been on.
Yeah. Why aren't you here more?
All right.
I was making up Ariel songs. I'm sorry.
Worth it a little bit. Jack says his students had fun in the planetarium when they watched some of the irregularly shaped moons going through their phases.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta be cool. The moons go through phases too. Well,
That could be fun.
obviously
Just like
it's
us.
our moon, but other moons go through phases too.
Yeah.
You know what we didn't really talk about in the main episode?
Huh.
Is the potential discovery of exomoons.
We just talked about that.
I was
Like
making
right
up
now.
a song.
But it was on a high level. It was on a very high level that we talked about.
You just brought up exomoons.
Is Brandon dead? All we see is
He
the
is-
shoulder.
He is dead. Anyway, what's your favorite moon?
You can't say the moon.
Yeah.
No.
The moon is off limits because
Yeah.
fuck that guy. But
Io. There's just so much shit
Io's a
going
good
on
one.
with it.
yeah, see, that's my favorite is Io because it's
Oh.
so
Oh damn.
it's tumultuous and
Yeah, I mean, a very close second is Europa, and I think for me it is just I want life on Europa so bad, for a couple of reasons, but yeah, I want life on Europa, and there's a great possibility that there could be.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, Io is definitely 1A, but Europa's 1B, but it's really close to 1A.
What's yours, Brandon?
So really quick, Jack just said Miranda's my favorite, and when I was giving shows, anytime Miranda was brought up, I had to say it like Miranda. It's a Firefly.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, that's what that weird whisper in my ear was.
That's
All right.
exactly what it was. Okay, so favorite moon. I guess I have two categories. Number one, a favorite moon as if I was studying this moon for a career and have my life focused on it. And then the other one is what do I just like looking at?
Okay.
So if I had to base a career off of a moon and study it, it would be Titan, just because
Yes.
there's so
Okay.
much going on with
Mhm.
it. But my favorite moon just to kind of look at, recently, like last year, it's been Pan.
Pan, the
Oh,
ravioli.
The space shepherd ravioli. Yeah, so it's right in
Yeah.
Saturn. It's cleared out the path within the rings, and it looks like a ravioli. And it's very pretty to look at because number one, it looks neat. But two, in its background are the rings of Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's in them.
And
Yeah.
it's zipping along really fast along the rings too. I don't know the exact speed, but I know if you watch it 1 second is every 5 minutes, it's going really fast along the rings.
Oh wow. Yeah,
You know,
I
we do
almost
have a
put
software package where we can actually take a look at that.
And that's exactly what I was referencing. You know, I go to Pan.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about Pan. I almost put Pan in the main show notes, just because
love
I
Pan.
just think that it is such a unique looking moon due to
It
its
is.
shape. It has like this high,
And it's
like
kinda
big
smooth.
equatorial ridge. And
Yeah.
it's smooth. It's not pockmarked with craters really.
No.
And the fact that it's called the Shepherd Moon just makes me. It's like it's the Ents of space. It's a shepherd of the rings.
All right, take
All
a
right.
drink for the
Yes.
Lord of the
okay.
Rings.
We do that in Hangover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when do we stop the rules?
Yeah, we don't stop.
The rules don't stop. They
At
continue.
3:30 p.m. I don't know.
I wonder if it's not heavily pockmarked because being in the rings that protects it from, because there's not a lot of stuff that's just flying around all over the place.
Well,
That's a
yeah.
good point.
So
Yeah, I mean, it does have the lip around it, which is probably from the ring material
yeah,
itself.
kind of stretching out its,
Yeah.
because it's on the plane of Saturn's gravity, so that middle part, its equator is getting stretched out a bit.
And it probably is pretty small, so
Yeah.
its cross section for an impact is really small.
Yeah.
That's
Look at me, I solved science. So I solved it.
Liz,
you know
just
it's the
solved
years
science.
the year's 1895 and physicists are pretty sure we're about done with physics. We solved it all. We're done. That's exactly what Liz just did.
That's what I did. Solved it.
1800s, 1904. They thought that. They thought they were
1904,
really
yeah.
close, and then
Fucking
1905.
Einstein.
Well,
What a dick.
oh, actually, it was a little bit
Around
before
here.
that. We'll say 1900. They thought that that physics was going to become like the field of botany,
Wrap it
where
up,
we were
boys.
Where
just
it's
We're
just
done, yeah.
classifications.
Yep, where it's just
And-
classification, and then
And for the rest of the hangover, me and Mike will just be talking about physics breaking into itself in the 20th
And I'll be
century.
making old timey sounds.
and then Plonk comes along and he's like, "Hold my beer,"
Hello,
but he's
governor.
German, right?
Oh.
And
Hold
so-
my Heffenweisen.
Yeah, and really
Which I'm
turned
very excited
everything
to
on
have
its
soon.
head. So I think one of the things that like we didn't talk about with regards to our moon is that it's slowing the Earth's rotation down. We kind of alluded
what a
to it.
dick.
We alluded to it where we said that the when the moon was formed, the Earth's day was 5 hours long, and the moon was something like
That's what we were going to talk about. We're going to get more into that.
Oh, were we?
Yeah.
I don't know. 20,000 miles away from the Earth, but it has pulled away from us. So there's this thing in physics called the conservation of angular momentum.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Earth is spinning, the Moon is spinning, the Moon is going around the Earth. The Earth is actually going around its barycenter and all this kind of stuff. And
You can't prove that.
The Earth is flat, right? So if you add up all those numbers, it's constant. You get a number and it stays constant.
Okay.
And so if the Earth slows down, the only way that the Earth can slow down is the Moon has to pull away from us. So the question is, why does the Earth slow down? And it's because of tides.
Drag.
Yeah. So the Moon causes the tides, which hopefully everybody who listens to this knows.
What tides are?
Well, tides go in, tides go out. We don't know what causes tides. Fuck you, Bill O'Reilly. We know exactly what causes tides. We've known it since the 1600s. So the Moon pulls on the oceans and causes tides. Well, the Earth is spinning relatively quickly, faster than the Moon goes around the Earth, and so it pulls that tidal bulge forward.
It's like if you're running past me and I grab your shirt, I'm going
Now,
to pull
wow.
you back into me.
Now, if Mike's running really fast, you pull him,
He's going to pull me.
it may become a Deadpool. Pulling too fast.
I see
Welcome
what
to
you
the
did
Hangover,
Right.
folks.
All right. Inspiration courtesy of Smeegs.
Yeah, so the Moon is still pulling that tidal bulge, and so it's actually causes a drag.
Are you laughing at bulge?
And it slows the Earth down. It slows the rotation down, which makes the Moon pull further away from us. And eventually, in about 10 billion years, the Earth's day will be about 45 days long, and the Moon will take about 45 days to go around the Earth.
But that
And
matters.
we will be, like Pluto, we will be mutually tidally locked.
But that won't matter in 10 billion years. 'cause
It
we'll
will
be
not
Christmas.
matter in 10 billion
Oh,
years
10
at all.
billion
Why?
years? Oh, the sun.
Yeah, what's going to happen?
Hello.
What's going to happen?
Oh, we're all going to die. If we're
But
still here,
how?
the sun's going to expand out into a red giant, and it's
Oh,
going to
God, this is like a flaming lips song. I'm not ready for this.
And then if we happen to, I don't know, protect, survive through climate change that we're causing and destroying our own fucking species, and pandemics where we don't wear masks or think science is correct, and trust our medical professionals, then we're just all gonna die by the sun, and
You
there's
know
no
what?
way to stop that.
I'm convinced that somewhere there's like a bad 1960s sci-fi book where humanity comes together to try to decrease the expansion of the sun.
Oh, God.
That has to exist, right?
Yeah, I'm sure
And
it
all they
does.
do is like deposit giant ice cubes into the sun.
Just get a bunch of fucking ice makers and just.
Yeah.
So we
Exactly
get
what it is.
Triton, aim its little
Yeah, we just push Triton into
ice
the sun.
cube shooting geysers.
If you shot Triton into the sun, it would do nothing.
It would do nothing.
It would do
No,
nothing.
but it would look really cool.
Would it though, or would it just be too?
Meanwhile, all these anti-vax people were like, "Yeah, we're doing some shit. We're gonna make the
We're
sun
all
cooler."
gonna die anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
So which heightens then the importance of us getting our shit together, so we can figure out like warp speed and get
And how to stop the expansion of the sun, people.
because we can't stay in the solar system.
I
Or
I
further
don't even-
out
Okay,
with some
okay.
sort of
I
heat
don't even think
generation
we need to wait
technology.
for warp
And this
speed.
is the
We
point of the
just
show
leave.
when we go into just sci-fi.
All right, but I will
Fantasies.
I will say I put a lot of thought into that, into other star systems. I don't think we get there. I think
We
we
can't
stay in the
get
solar
there.
system, we die with it. I desperately want to believe that we create the correct technology to fly to other star systems within a lifetime and expand, so on and so forth. I don't think it happens. I think this is it. This is our last stand. This is our Helm's Deep. This is our Menace to Earth.
Take a drink.
This is our Hoth.
Yeah,
It's our
most
last
likely.
stand.
Yeah, most likely. Most likely. Just because
Okay,
I don't know if we don't have the science yet that tells us. Yeah, no, it's totally cool to.
And Jack just mentioned the 60s story where they use a gas giant to refuel the sun. which reminds
Oh.
me of one of my favorite science fiction movies. The first two-thirds of my favorite science fiction movie is called Sunshine. Um, and the plot to Sunshine is that the sun is dying, and so the Earth's getting real cold, and so they had to go refuel the sun, and it's just such an epic story for the first two-thirds, and then it devolves into a weird horror slasher movie, and it's depressing. But
Ooh.
and the soundtrack, let me tell you,
I
the
wanna watch
soundtrack
that.
is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. It's on Plex, because I definitely asked for
Oh
it.
my God, we gotta watch that tonight with our pizza.
Moonfall
I'm in.
Studio 666. We need those. We need those.
Anyway,
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
let's
Let me
not
put
talk
that on.
illegal streaming on.
You mean perfectly legal streaming? Bye, Karen.
Bye, Mom. Go have fun.
Daylight savings is happening already?
On the 13th, but we'll okay. No,
I don't know.
we I guess we're doing a shot next weekend. So, oh
We don't do
man,
those live though. Anyway,
No.
anyway.
Thank God. Thank God.
Okay, I
want to
watch Sunshine. That
we're still
sounds
doing it at 2
amazing.
p.m. our time. Next time your mom joins us. Why did she
Okay.
have to go? She didn't.
Oh, she's Deborah's picking her up, and she's gonna go meet my dad, who's playing golf. Anyway.
Welcome to The Hangover with Cosmos of the Cosmos.
They should have planned this better.
Anyway.
We will talk about this when we-
Notable orbitals. People.
Puck.
Puck is one of Uranus's moons.
One of what?
Uranus's moons.
Oh, I was gonna say, what was that MTV show?
The Real World.
The Real World.
It's one of the early
Oh,
Real Worlds.
He was on.
Puck was
He was like the punk.
He was like the asshole. He was the asshole of the show.
I've never seen any Real World episode.
That's because you're just too young. You didn't hit it right at it when it.
No, but I was
had
just
its
the right
peak.
age to get super into Pokemon, so I'm not mad.
Yeah, I was too old for Pokemon.
I
I
don't
had
see.
Pogs.
98?
I
No,
had
no, no,
Pogs in fifth grade.
98.
Don't
You
you're
were like
making
what?
the- I can't
13?
Okay.
I feel
the
like
real,
you were the right
real
age.
world
The
is
Real
not.
World is came out in 90.
Okay, you didn't let me finish. I was gonna say the real world. I don't see as Brandon's
No.
cup of tea.
No, he wouldn't be
No.
watching the Real Worlds.
No, that's a good point.
So, yeah. So I can see why he would not have seen any of them, but on a different reason other than me.
Yeah.
But there was something in the MTV later generation, Band in the Bubble. Remember watching that? That was weird.
What?
Band
It's called, oh god,
in the
this is
Rubble?
pure hangover.
Band in a
Band in the
bubble?
Bubble. So they put a band together and they just threw them in the bubble in like some park, like
No,
a little
I've
giant
never
plastic
heard
bubble,
of this. This is
and
not.
had them live like 2 weeks in it.
This is not my MTV.
No.
I want my
They
MTV.
have jumped the
Actually, I
shark
think
at this
the
point.
Real World might have been the kind of the.
Which I will
Anyway.
point out, in the Happy Days, jumping the shark was a cool episode, so I don't get the hubbub. It was cool. It was good.
When was he supposed to be born?
Fonzie?
What?
No, Brandon. I feel like Brandon was supposed to be born maybe like I don't know,
In the
like
50s?
in the 30s. So he's reaching his height around the or maybe the 40s. So he's reaching
So,
his prime
yeah.
in the 60s. Yeah,
60s?
yeah. But he also could do 1860s. So
I could.
really,
No, I say
But also,
1950s.
I like hot showers. So like now is good.
He's born in the 40s.
oh,
He kind of comes to it in the 50s.
oh, Teen Mom Jack though. God,
No,
that's
I
a
don't-
train wreck. That
I don't
gets-
want to do Vietnam, so I'm good with now.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You gotta.
Have
An
you
old
seen the
soul.
news?
No, I've been reading
We don't need
Science
to-
Galaxy
we
Science
don't need to
Fiction
talk about it. We
by
don't need to
William
do it.
Morrison, Clifford Samak, John Bolland, and William Tenn.
Oh, see, I'm just reading Jack Kerouac right now.
All right.
That's on my reading list. What's on your reading list?
Nothing,
Actually, you
'cause
know
I
what?
don't
Let me
read.
open this.
Things.
Okay, so this is a science fiction book, Galaxy, September issue, 1957. It was I got it for $4, and I love it. So let me oh.
You're
First
in
of all,
charge
gotta
of this,
get
by
the
the way.
good.
I just want to see the cover. Can you show the
Oh
cover?
yeah,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
completely
Pure Soviet.
screams,
Isn't it
just-
great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, all right. So, moons.
I love how you're trying to bring this back.
Any last thoughts on moons? Do you
Oh,
have a
shit. Yeah.
Do you have a hated moon? A most disliked
Oh,
moon. A moon you
motherfucking
don't care
Deimos.
for that much.
Hated moon.
A moon you don't care for that much.
I've never thought about that.
Let me.
I
Let's
you?
put thought into
I
it though.
suspect most people have not thought of it.
Have you thought about a
Like
most
Like
hated moon?
a most disliked moon, maybe. Hated is a bit strong, after all.
So, like, if you're in the show and somebody asks, "What about this moon?" and you go, "Oh, god damn it, I don't want to talk
Like,
about this
fuck
moon,
this.
but I will."
Fuck this moon.
Yeah, you brought this up. What's your hated moon?
I don't know.
I don't like the moon.
The moon. Our moon.
I love our moon. God, I love our moon. Without our moon, we would not be here.
Be here.
There's a great commercial by Quiznos back in the early 2000s. They had something called sea monkeys. They were these weird puppets with googly eyes, and they had an entire song talking about the moon. And we love the moon because it is good to us. So they don't hate the moon.
What's that thing where like you could buy like a pack of them, put them in water, and it's something monkeys?
Sea monkeys.
They're called sea monkeys.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I had some.
You have some?
I had some. I remember having some sea monkeys.
Why don't we get
and
sea
nothing?
monkeys? What?
And nothing ever happened because it's nothing because it's not real. It's just,
No,
it's just
isn't
a
it
bullshit.
something?
No, it's not a thing.
Oh, I have to look it up.
It's not a
I have an
thing.
iPad right
It's
here.
not a
This is
thing.
cool.
I feel like I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. That face.
You're gonna have paint. All right. Where are we going with this?
My comment, my statement.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just trying to wrap it around, but I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of moons in the solar system.
There's like 216 moons in the solar
but
system.
but
right?
most of them are pretty just, either
It's
they're
brine
small. They're small.
Sea monkeys are brine shrimp. I thought they were something.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Well, they didn't form like their picture.
We can go get them in the lake.
Most of the moons in the solar system are kind of just like small rocky things, or
Space
small rocky
potatoes?
and icy things, or small
Mhm.
icy things. Like they're
For the
not.
most part, yeah.
They're very similar. A lot of captured shit. A lot of shit that's just pieces broken off other shit. So I think that the moons that are like Io and Europa and Enceladus and those moons, they really stand out because they have such dynamic characteristics that they're very planet-like, and they would be planets if they just orbited the sun directly.
So I know you're trying to wrap us up here. But
yes, I'm trying to wrap us up, Brandon.
But this is the hangover where we have tangents upon tangents. So let me ask you this question. Was that a dog bark? God damn it.
No, there was not.
Okay.
There was no dog
Okay,
bark.
so let me ask you this
They're
question.
both sleeping right in front of us.
But Jack does have most moons are in the meh category.
Yeah, pretty much, Jack.
Totally
pretty
fair.
much.
So if you think of the moons and people in general as a bell curve, most people and moons go in the meh category.
Yeah.
There's only a select few that are like really
we're
cool.
all in the meh category. I don't know what
Yeah.
category you think you're going to try and get into.
Well, let me ask you this question,
Okay.
semi-related. If you were a moon, what kind of moon would you be?
I would probably be.
You'd be Io.
I mean, I was thinking that, but that's just internally.
I was thinking I would be Io.
I think on the outside, on the outside, I might be Pan. I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
Surrounded. Wait.
That
What?
like I come off.
Go with
I
this.
come off kind of like benign and just like, but like a weird with a quirkiness, but on the inside, fucking volcanoes.
And
Pan?
Pan.
Pan
Go with this
doesn't have
mic.
volcanoes.
No, I know Pan doesn't have
go with
volcanoes.
this. Listen to me. Pan, its unique self is also surrounded by beauty.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you.
I think it fits.
Yeah, you're surrounded by beauty.
Maybe I'm more Miranda.
What?
So maybe I'm more Miranda.
Wow, so you're not... last time you called me fat.
I did not.
Yeah, you did. So...
Oh, both of us. No, she go both of us.
I
Yeah.
did not.
I remember that.
Brandon
I'm saying
were
the beauty
shamed.
I'm surrounded by.
Brandon and I were shamed the last time, and so here Brandon brings up surrounded by beauty, and you're like, I'm Miranda. I'm something else.
So I'm surrounded by.
So-
I'm surrounded by Uranus.
That's fair. Surrounded by assholes.
Surrounded by assholes.
You like Dark Helmet.
Wow. All right, cool. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
but
great.
Jack
It's
is
a-
like
it's all
Europa. He's a
joking.
cold shell with a salty nature. I get behind that.
See, okay. See, that works.
The
I am some undiscovered exoplanet, some exomoon somewhere.
Are you an undiscovered country?
Hey, it's one of my favorite Star Trek movies. Yes,
Ah,
actually has a little bit of Shakespeare in it.
does.
Yeah. So yeah, cool. All right, what are we doing?
All right, well, that's our moons.
Yeah, that's how it works,
Wait,
folks.
wait. I got it. Everybody,
Look at this moon.
you've
Isn't
been
it
mooned.
neat? You've been moons. All right.
All right, that was the hangover with Cosmos. With Cosmos, where no moon is hated. But
Where
there
no
are,
moon has gone before.
and also that's no moon.
Oh, I'm so mad. I never made that joke in the main episode. That was my only goal. Was to say,
I made it.
She made
no.
it.
But you had a point. You knew you were gonna say it. I just
Yeah.
wanted to pick a random moon. I go, wait, what was that moon called again?
I was
Mimas. Mimas. Well, that's no moon.
I knew. I thought you would do it. All right, bye, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Jack, have fun with that sushi.
All right, thanks for everyone for joining us, and we'll see you on the next episode of Cosmos with Cosmos. Follow us on all of the things at Drinking Cosmos on Twitter, Cosmos with Cosmos everywhere else, and check out our new short little drunken bit of science
Shot.
episodes, The Shot with Cosmos, released on Wednesdays.
Apparently every Wednesday.
Or every other Wednesday. It'll be out
Every other
sometime
Wednesday.
on a Wednesday.
Well, now it's
it'll
every
come
Wednesday.
out. So
You said it.
Every
subscribe to us,
It's every
follow us,
Wednesday.
and you'll be notified
So
when it comes
next
out.
weekend we have to record more, Brandon.
If we must, I do what I can because I must.
So
All right,
people.
bye, everybody.
Bye everyone. We'll see you.
Deuces.
Hold on.